Good morning. When I talked with Pastor Villas about the testimony, I was really thinking that for us in this time that we are living, we have like a daily testimony of His love, His compassion, His provision, His protection. So 2 days after, I was in my time with the Lord, and the Lord gave me 1 John 4:20. Whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother and sister whom they have not seen, and He has given us this command, anyone who loves God must also love their brothers and sisters. So immediately, the word of God, the question of God was, what my love is doing through you, through you. This is something incredible. I want to share with you wonderful news, but knowing that the glory, the power, the honor, and the worship is just for Him. I love to work with homeless. I love it. And I'm going to introduce Rebecca Boraski, a brave, courageous, wonderful woman that Jesus is changing, giving a new opportunity to live, to change, and to worship Him. So I'm going to pass, and we are together here.
I like the way she segued homeless and then looked at me. I'm not homeless anymore, by the way. Okay, so I wrote mine all down because I'm nervous and plus I forget things a lot. I just want to start a little bit about myself. I have to find my own story. Here we are. But first I wanted to quote Romans 8, verse 18. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. And I say that because I have had an interesting life where I started out one way and then transformed to sort of the polar opposite. And then I'm in the process of trying to transfer back, but not in the way that I was, because I was a very different person 12 years ago. I was going to say, hi, my name is Rebecca, and I am a survivor of the general apathy of a disconnected society. I'm also a recovering alcoholic who thinks she's really a lot smarter than she is. And, but when I was young, I always felt like I was one of those square peg, round hole kids. Like I didn't fit in anywhere, and I couldn't figure out why. By the time I got to kindergarten, I already knew how to read. I taught myself, but I don't know how I taught it. I don't know if it's the same. Anyway, I could read, and but I was doing it the wrong way. And so the teacher had my mom come in and gave her. She's like, "Well, why don't teach her that way again, and anyone else that way?" And my mom says, "I didn't." I got in trouble for lying, and I learned to be quiet because my family, I thought the stork got it wrong, the wrong address, because I was definitely not from my parents. There's no way. I learned to keep my mouth shut because people started calling me stupid because I couldn't communicate with them properly, and they couldn't communicate with me. I got losing my train of thought. I'm really sorry. I didn't realize I'd be standing up in front of people. I don't know why. I speak at AA all the time. I got to the point where I stopped talking altogether because every time I opened my mouth, people either indicate they didn't understand what I was saying, probably because I speak very quickly, sorry. But also I got called stupid. People kept calling me stupid. And after a period of years, they took me to have an IQ test, and I thought it was because they wanted to find out the lowest possible number for people. But what happened was after the IQ test, or I didn't know it was called IQ test, they wanted to skip me up 2 grades, to which my parents said no, because at least at the grade I was in, the kids were my age that were beating me up were about my size, and they didn't want to risk, bigger children pounding on me. It wasn't very fun. Anyway, I also made it into Mensa, but that was before they beefed up security. But I started drinking after a terrible relationship that lasted 3 years. I was very naive about men because all the men in my life were horrible. And after the relationship, I wasn't much of a drinker. I didn't actually do anything. I didn't do drugs. I was really boring. And I started drinking to mask the pain of what was going on that I didn't understand and I didn't know how to work through. I didn't have Jesus in my life. I didn't have anyone in my life except for this individual. And when I started drinking, I drank to win. I didn't mess around. I didn't have the fun times that other people had. Within, I would say within less than 2 years, I lost absolutely everything. I owned a condominium in James Bay. I drove a Mercedes-Benz. I worked for Smythe Ratcliffe Insolvency. I hope no one here did the bankruptcy. And I thought I was something else. I'll tell you right. You know, I was a ladder climber. I didn't feel a lot of empathy for people. After I started drinking, I still tried to live my life. I masked it the best I could. I'm not going to go on about the whole thing, but it culminated in me running from the cops in my Mercedes-Benz, and it was one of those slow OJ chases. I was on Souk Road, and it was a very annoying thing. I caused an accident, and I lost my license. I went to jail because I had no criminal record, but I hurt somebody. Someone got hurt, to which I still have trouble forgiving myself today. After I went to jail, I went back several more times, but not for any offense, recommitted. It's because I couldn't, I was on a probation order that stated for 2 years I can't drink or even go into an establishment that primarily sold alcohol. But as a full-blown alcoholic, I didn't care, and I thought, well, I can. So I kept getting caught and thrown back in jail. At that time, the last time I went, when I came back, my landlord had got rid of my place and all my things, and I lost my storage. So I lost my license, my job, my future because I had a criminal record now, and everything I did was legal. I did a lot of university. I lost my children. Hope I wore waterproof. And then I ended up homeless. But when I was homeless, when you see homeless people out there, you kind of think they've always been there. They're like part of the sidewalk. That's how I thought I used to look at them. I didn't think that they might have been people before. When I became homeless, I was just like everybody else. I mean, you know, it's just like I fell out of bed and I woke up on the sidewalk. That's what it felt like. I didn't know where to get food. I didn't know, my family wasn't talking to me. I had no money. Everything was getting stolen from me over and over again. I still wonder why homeless people slept on their shoes, because I thought, wow, that looks uncomfortable and bad for your neck. Until one morning I woke up without my shoes. And I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, I was homeless on and off for 6 years. Basically, how I met Yolanda is that her and Youth for Christ Ministry were having a barbecue in Centennial Square, and they needed a patch of ground I was drinking beer on to set up their barbecue in exchange for a hot dog. So I said, yes, I can move for that time. And anyway, while I was there, they were the first people that looked to me in 6 years, because when you're outside, you become invisible. And, you know, they say guns kill, apathy kills more. But people stopped seeing me, they stopped hearing me. I felt like I was that child again, where people didn't understand me. And anyway, they were the first people that weren't afraid to talk to me or touch me. They shared the gospel with me, which I already had a working knowledge of because I'd been to church as a child. And Yolanda gave me a hot dog. And eventually, they got me into a shelter, and then I go into detox. I went to treatment. I came back. I eventually started volunteering with them and giving out hot dogs with Yolanda. And as time progressed, I got a job, went to work. I worked with Yolanda, so I don't know what's up with that, but it's just a lot of Yolanda. Sorry, I lost my place. I'm not even looking. I just liked the way that I was treated by these people, like I was not invisible, and I was worth it. Like I didn't understand when you're on the other side of the coin, when you think, I still thought like you, but I was looking like everybody, the homeless people, and that's how I know that these people, there's still people inside of there, despite their behavior, despite how they look, how they act, how they speak. I know what it looks like. I live at Paul's Motor Inn, so I'm well versed in what it looks like and how they are. And even with knowing all of that, I know that there's people in there, and they're worth saving. And I know that because I can see me in them. Not all of them, you can't save everybody. But I'll tell you right now, there's people in there we can save. I digress, as usual. Living at Paul's has been difficult because it's like a circus from hell, but worse. If hell were, but it's awful. Because of the addictive behaviors, people become different. They don't act like themselves. They're almost trapped inside a role they're playing. It's very odd. It's hard to describe. Anyway, to distract myself from what was going on, I started, I know it sounds weird, mixing creams together. I wasn't sleeping well at all because it's a 24-hour, they're on a 24-hour clock. I don't know what they're doing, but I need it because there aren't enough hours in the day. But I was very thankful, so thankful that Yolanda imports coffee. When I started, and it's good too, by the way. When I started my business, it basically, I started mixing up creams because I wanted to distract myself, and it turned into a little tiny me industry. There's a couple of people involved, but where I make skincare for people. I become a chemist almost from the school of Google, because you can literally find anything else you need to know. So I just applied the stuff I knew from Chemistry 11 that I failed. At the beginning, I gave many people unintentional chemical burns. What do we call that? Chemical peel. You're welcome. Yolanda stood by me, and I think because of her support and people like Yolanda, I'm out. And how I stopped drinking is another miracle, because only God can do this one. I struggled for 12 years. Couldn't stay sober longer than maybe, I think I hit 6 months once. I think I lied, though. I don't think I hit 6 months. I think I just believe that now in retrospect. But in true God fashion, I just forgot to drink. I literally realized after about 3 or 4 days that I know what 9 o'clock is. 9 o'clock is liquor store time. Longest hour of the day between 8 and 9, just so you know, anyone who drank. And I just forgot. And I've not craved it since, and it's been over 1.5 years, and I still can't believe it. I still think, every time I walk by a liquor store, I almost want to go in and buy a bottle just to say, that can't be right. But it is, the Lord has done, I'm one of those people that once in a while the Lord just looks down and takes a stick and goes like this under my legs. He has to, because I don't listen worth anything. I'm terrible. But he has given me so much. He's put people in my path that have just, I didn't ask for it, but they're fantastic, and they're supportive, and they're loving. And everything that I do now with my creams, it's the first job I've ever had that, it's not even a job, it's like I want to do it all the time. I used to know people like that, and I'd say, well, no one wants to work 24 hours a day. You do. But I'm working not for me, I'm working because I want to put a smile on someone's face. I have given away so much cream, I could have bought a house. Because I want people to feel the love I feel, and I want to feel the love I feel from God. It's in my small measure, which is here's a body butter. But anyway, I'm going on and on and on and on. I'm sorry. I need the Academy Award music. But I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to blather on this long. Thanks. I brought samples for everybody as well. It's good cream. It's not. I didn't just fluff it off. Trust me, if I don't put it on my face, it doesn't go anywhere out of my house. And anyway, there's samples, and there's bigger stuff too, and if you want by donation, but if not, please take and use and enjoy, and thank you.
Bless you.